It's loose.
Yeah.
It's loose.
Biggest thing,
All right.
just look at Gino.
Look at Gino.
Okay.
Stay here.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll go.
All right, we're good. We're rolling.
Oh, we're rolling? We're
Yeah.
hot?
We have the sound still?
All right.
Good. All right.
All right. So, what's your name?
My name is Mike Malba.
All right. And what's your relationship to our production staff?
I am the entire production staff's uncle.
In terms of 4th of July, what are some favorite 4th of July memories? Sorry, 4th of July traditions. We'll go there. What are some favorite 4th of July traditions?
Well, there are many, but I think what's close to my heart, of course, is the hot dogs. This thing goes back so far. I mean, it goes back to when we were kids, and when Uncle John and Aunt Bessie did it. It was incredible, and now it's become a whole different thing here in Rochester Hills with Wayne and Mary for so many years, and there's so many good memories. And having 70 or 80 people in the backyard, I mean, just. First of all, it's a tremendous blessing, and I think just being able to do that, particularly in light of what's going on in the world these days, to see that kind of a family situation just continue to thrive is really an amazing thing. But so if that's just me. If there's anything else you were looking for, I'm glad to keep going. But
No right or
That's
wrong
perfect.
answer.
There's no
right, yeah.
Exactly.
Just answer.
So, making a little bit of a transition, what would you say are some of the most memorable historical moments of your lifetime?
Wow. Well, let's see. I'd say I've had a wonderful life. Good thing it's here. Shoot, I didn't make it too far in, did I? Yeah. So I can tell you this, just sort of, to a precursor to that question is that the older you get, the more like this you get. In other words, you really things sink deep inside you, and when the questions are asked, it really brings up a feeling and a reminiscence of what's gone on in my life. But in any case, I think some of the most important things are a lot of wonderful things when I was very young. I grew up in Massachusetts, and how vivid the memories are of being when I was really, really young. I mean, the place that we lived was an incredible place. It was actually a sea captain's home that was built in the early 1800s, and so a lot of historical value. And so, but growing up in that era, and having the iceman deliver ice to the house because that's how refrigerators were, So I mean, things like that are really, really cool memories. And we live close, of course, in Salem, Massachusetts, close to the Atlantic Ocean, and that was a wonderful place to grow up. My mother's uncle had a cottage on the ocean, so for us growing up, that was an incredible place to be, needless to say. But fast forward, the most wonderful thing that's happened in my life is after having not such a terrific first marriage, the second marriage came along. I met Claudette at work at Ford Motor Company, and she completely changed my life, and she hard to hard to imagine a better life, and it led to eventually to me being baptized and becoming a member of the church, and having the incredible family that we have. And without mine and Claudette's relationship, I never would have been a part of that. So I thank God for that, and I thank my whole family for that.
So you took us to a little bit of a place I wasn't anticipating, but that's absolutely wonderful, and thank you for that. That's absolutely lovely. So taking yet another transition then, so maybe a little lighter topical area. What are some of the most amazing physical feats, athletic accomplishments you can recall in your lifetime from either witnessing or hearing about?
Accomplishments, my accomplishments?
No, just like
Any sports star, athlete.
Yeah.
Sports star.
Some amazing things that have happened in sports that you can think of.
Oh, okay. Well, I was at Tiger Stadium in 1968. So with my dad, which was unusual because he worked 1,000 hours a week, and we didn't get to do very much of that with my dad when we were growing up. But that was one of those things. I think they call it a significant emotional event. You were at somewhere and you were with people that meant the world to you, and so that was really a terrific thing. Really, really cool.
Very cool. What's the first thing that comes to mind for you when you hear about the sport of croquet?
Well, I'm just not sure, I can't think of anything in particular. Croquet. Balls. I don't know. I just don't have an answer for that. Croquet.
Okay.
What's the first thing you think about with our family and croquet?
I know there should be something, but it's escaping my mind. Somebody cheated a lot. I'm pretty sure. Nothing. I'll be honest with you. Nothing's popping into my head at the moment. I know it should.
That's fine.
Fair enough.
I know it should.
So, what's your relationship to Wayne?
He is my brother-in-law and my brother in Christ. And he and I are roughly the same age. I'm leading the way by 6 months, but we're the same age, and we grew up in that, graduated from high school in 1968, and there we go.
And do you have any context for Wayne's physical and athletic capabilities?
Of course, because we grew up on different sides of town, and didn't even have any idea who the Conti family were at that time. I know what I've heard. I know, and it doesn't surprise me about him that he was a tenacious defensive player in football. And I know this. I would not have wanted to be on the other side of the line facing him, for sure.
In terms of movement and agility and speed, are those words you would typically associate with Wayne? I'm
thinking not, but I'm also thinking that here again, I didn't Bugs. I didn't know him then. I can tell you this for certain. What he may have lacked in agility, he made up for in strength and in desire.
Now, thinking about your nephews, two in particular, what was Gino and Armin's relationship growing up?
What was their relationship?
What was their relationship like?
It was, to say the very least, it was, I'd say highly contentious. There were two guys, and they reminded me of myself and my brother Steve, but they could push each other's buttons very, very easily, and it became the lore of many, many great stories between the two of them, and some of them which almost ended up in some level of disaster, bodily harm, that sort of thing.
And in
Uncle Mike, I wasn't trying to tell you to speed up. Just remember to repeat the question or phrase it as if Gino and Armin's relationship was.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
fine. It's fine. Don't
Okay.
worry. Don't worry.
Okay.
It's great.
Yeah.
There's gonna be so many. We're gonna be cutting this up. So
Right.
don't worry about it. I wasn't trying to
If you
speed
see,
you up.
yeah, this doesn't
This
mean
just
speed up.
means
This just
repeat the
means
question.
go back and rephrase the question in your answer.
Okay. Well, or I thought it might be like more.
we got-
Also, too. Yeah. So I'm reading all kinds of stuff into this.
so, in terms of those spats, who was usually the antagonist?
Oh, that would be, well, that's an interesting question because the antagonist would be through no fault of his own, Gino.
So tell me more.
But it was actually pretty much the other way around. Armin was the antagonist.
Right answer.
There is one question the right answer.
Yeah.
Oh, look, yes.
And in terms of
Thank you.
Armin and Gino disputes, do you have a favorite Armin and Gino fight anecdote?
Oh, well, I think that the all-time classic was the croquet ball related issue, and that may have been what you were looking for earlier on. But yeah, the croquet ball issue where Armin pitched a croquet ball at Gino and hit him squarely in the back, fortunately, and not in the back of his head. But at which time I was sitting next to Wayne at the time, or very close proximity to Wayne, up on the deck over on Linham, and he shot off that deck like he was shot out of a cannon. It was incredible, absolutely incredible. And so, yeah.
So how much ground do you think he had to cover in catching Armin?
That was an easy 50-yard dash in about 3 seconds.
50 and 3. So he was hustling.
He was really hustling.
So describe a little more about that event, maybe your vantage point and how it all happened and unfolded.
Oh, like I said, we were most of the adults, and I use the word loosely, the term loosely, were sitting on the deck, and Grandma and Grandpa were there at the time, and all the boys were young, and I think we were just having a conversation, and we saw, I think almost all of us actually saw the event start to escalate, and then I think almost all of us saw the croquet ball being thrown, and we saw the contact, and then all of us, all we saw was Wayne out of the corners of our eyes as he flew off of the deck, literally. So that's my recollection of that event. It was incredible.
And how far do you think Armin was from Gino when he was launching said croquet ball?
I'm going to say less than 10 feet. I'm thinking it was less than 10 feet.
So this was a point blank-ish.
It was no question. It was a point blank, yes.
And in terms of reason for the get-together, any recollection of the reason for the party?
You know what, I think, I'm not sure, but I think it might have been 4th of July. Might have been.
Any idea what year it was?
No.
That seems to be the common.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
thinking
You're talking to a guy who can't remember what he had for breakfast. So,
That's fine.
all right.
This one might be easier. Thinking of a predator and prey situation, if you had to compare Armin and Wayne to predator and prey, what animals would you assign to them?
Armin was the lion, and Gino was the lamb.
Oh, so Armin and Wayne.
Oh, Armin and Wayne.
When
I'm
he
sorry.
was launching off the deck to go catch him. But we'll take the first one too.
Yeah.
Armin was a defenseless little. Armin would be the lamb, and Gino was, I'm sorry, and Wayne was a cheetah.
Perfect.
Sorry, how's my hair? All right?
Here's good.
Oh,
It's a little windblown, but we're okay.
yeah.
Any other final thoughts or comments to share on kind of that topical historical incident of the family?
Well, I guess the easiest thing to say about that, the thing that kind of sticks, I think, in everybody's mind is that it's something that's so vivid. Perhaps not in chronologically, but it was people. Every one of us has a vivid memory of that, and the fact that we're doing what we're doing right now, and that we're still together as a family, and so close, and appreciating and enjoying the fact that Fury and Danny have just come back to town, and we're able to come back, and that Armin and Irene are about to have a baby, and I mean it's just the family just keeps rolling along, and every year things are just better and better and better. Nico becoming a full-fledged doctor and moving out to L.A. and coming back hopefully sooner than later. But I mean it's
While you're collecting yourself, think about the recollection of that event that you just gave. Give me a percentage that you feel it's accurate. Are you 100% accurate in that recollection? How confident are you?
In
The retelling of the
of the story?
Give me a percentage of how accurate you think your retelling is.
I think I'm probably in the 90% range. Really?
I wanted to hear.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I wanted to hear.
Yeah. So.
All right, we're set.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
You
That
guys,
was it.
I love you guys.
And now you know why you can't say a word when you go back
got you.
there.
You guys are so awesome. Oh my God.
All right, you're rolling.
Okay, so there was something that occurred to me after I had been interviewed earlier, and I think it's something that's very, very important to me to say. So I wanted it to be captured for this project, and that would be that we talked a lot about family and things related to family and things related to the wonderful game of croquet, and didn't even occur. I want to say what I said to you a few minutes ago, and that's that when you asked me a question about a croquet game, and then I understood later on that you were talking about a particular croquet game, an event that followed a croquet game. I didn't even realize that there was a croquet game going on on that particular day. So. Anyway, that's how things, memory fades over the years. But in any case,
Yeah, I mean that it became a less important part of that whole event.
Exactly.
It was more a chase scene.
Exactly. It was the chase scene. It was the event of the throwing of the ball. It was that whole part of it erased everything else. A croquet game. So, but anyway, maybe even more importantly. The Conti 5 are the most important part of this, and I just wanted to make sure and call that out separately, because there are, I would venture to guess that there are not that many relationships between 5 cousins that is as close as tight knit as, you know, one guy knows what the other guy's thinking and just how they feel about things before they even say the words, you know. And to me, that's absolutely worth, you know, capturing. The adults in this family have the blessing, the pleasure of just sitting back and watching the five interact and live their lives. And whatever happens, it doesn't matter. They tease each other, but it's all good-natured. And the number one thing is that they love each other first and foremost, right? First and foremost. So I just felt that was worth a few extra minutes because it's so precious and something that's it's an incredible thing. It's an incredible thing. There's so much going on nowadays where people can't even stand to be in the same room with their family members, or have disowned them years ago. And you even talk to friends, people who are wonderful, good people, but they can't get along inside their own family. This is the polar opposite, and it's a beautiful thing to see, a beautiful thing to live in our lives. We're so thankful for it.
All right. Thank you.
You
Thank you
bet.
for that. I mean, thanks for the extra time. And